Today, our topic of discussion is artificial neural networks versus biological neural networks. So, first, we have to understand what are the mathematics and what are the detailed configuration or architectural difference exists between artificial neural network and natural neural network. So here my point is the first thing that I want to mention, that is artificial neural network is inspired by neural network which is found in human brain, and neural network is highly interconnected. So basically my point is whenever I'm talking about human brain, inside the human brain, whenever we have some particular neuron, this neuron is connected with approximately 100 billion of neurons. So they are interconnected in nature. But first, we have to understand the architectural concept of the human brain and also the architectural concept of the neural network that exist in the human brain. Now, we know that if we look at the structure of the neuron in the human brain, we will find this kind of pattern. So, in this case, we can say that a particular body, the particular centroid, is known as cell body of a neuron. And we will have some stems around the neuron, which is also known as axon stems. So if I draw the diagram of the neural net, we will have one center position in the neuron, which is known as nucleus. And in the outer level, we will have some specific stems. However, you have to consider one more point. The proportion or the width of these stems are not same. They are not equal in nature. Some are feeble, some are fat enough, and we will have one particular axon in between, and this axon ends with few stems. Again, we will have some few stems at the end. So here my point is whatever tentacles we have with the cell body, these tentacles are responsible for taking some input from other interconnected neurons. So whenever we have other neurons, from that neurons, this tentacles will take input. And this is your axon. And this part is known as synapse. And this synapse is responsible for providing output. So this output will be further carried forward to other neurons. And one more point, these tentacles are also known as dendrites. So this is the basic architecture of human brain and its neuron. So here you have to understand one very important point. Whatever tentacles or dendrite we have, they takes input, and after taking the input, either they amplifies the input, means they strengthen up the input value, or it may reduce the input value. So whatever input they are accepting from other neurons, it is not carry forward to the centroid as it is. So basically this cell body collects all the inputs and combines them. Now come to the working functionality of this cell body. This cell body has two responsibility. First, it will receive the inputs from the dendrites, and then it will combine those inputs. Later on, it will process the input. So now we have to understand how to combine the received input and how to process them. So whenever we are going to design artificial neural network from this basic human brain's neuron diagram, then we have to represent this two term into some mathematical notation. So, first point that I want to mention is that dendrites are responsible for taking inputs and they will not send the inputs as it is to the cell body. Either they will reduce the input or they will increase the input. After receiving, the cell body will combine and process that input. And later on, the combined input will be passed through this axon and then it will be provided as an output to the next neurons. So here you have to note one point. So this combine task means whenever inputs are received and cell body is going to combine those, this combination kind of task is done by a function which is known as summation function. And for processing those input, in the artificial neural network, we will use one activation function. Today, our topic of discussion is how ANN differs from natural neural networks. Whenever we are going to create artificial neural network, then a cell body will be represented by a node. So here my point is, it is very simple point that in case of biological neuron, the cell body will perform this combination action and processing action naturally. But for generating artificial neural network, the cell body is known as node and in this node, we have to perform these two separate actions in terms of two mathematical functions, summation and activation. Now we have to understand it in details. Whenever we are defining artificial neural network, say this is our node. Now consider it as a cell body. Now we will have several inputs. We have to take several inputs in that node. So instead of dendrites, we are taking some input. And this inputs, say they are received from other nodes like this. And I have mentioned that one point, the thickness of the dendroid will not be same. So in that case, we have to understand for each and every input, we have to consider some weight value. So what is that weight? So whenever we have some input x1, then weight of this input will be denoted as say w1. Then if you have x2, if this input is x2, then weight will be w2. x3, weight will be w3. The second point is this is how we have to consider associated weight with each and every input. So we will have many numbers of input. Now here we have to calculate how this node will process the summation function. So we know that if I am going to calculate what is the total amount of input received by this particular node, then it will be calculated by the combination of input as well as weight. So input dot weight will be the actual information which is passing through one particular input to the node. So specifically in that case, I will calculate it as the first input and the first weight of some specific node and then second input and that second weight for j. Similarly, I will compute it up to xm and wmj. But we know that summation function means it is very easy. We are just multiplying the two factor input and the weight factor and then we are performing summation. But here you will find that I will use one term which is known as bias. Now you have to understand why we are using bias to calculate sum of the cumulative inputs so that we could pass the input and weighted sum of the inputs inside the node. Try to understand here you have to note one point. This bias term is added with the weighted sum of input to make sure that even if in the network the sum of the weights or the weighted sum is 0, the input activation function must be non-zero. Means it may happen that this first portion may encounter some zero value. So we are writing bias term, we are adding the bias term so that whatever may be the situation, always we should able to pass some non-zero value to the activation function. So this is the first point why we need bias. Now, so whatever I have discussed so far, so this is the node. Inside the node, we will perform one summation action, and also for processing, we have to perform some activation function. And to pass non-zero value to the activation function, we will add one bias term with this summation function. And now come to the latter part. So consider this is your axon, say it is passing the information which act like a output, and from this output whatever thing will be generated, it will be passed to the next set of neurons. Now the question is how we can calculate this output value. This output value will be calculated as function of whatever input we have calculated right now. So we have found that weighted sum plus bias term will be used to calculate the xj value. The function of xj value will be passed to the yj, which acts like an output of that particular neuron. So this is the basic thing that we have to understand. Now, there is one more point that we have to mention. So in human brain, what happens, the connections are very, very complex. Whereas we can perform or we can create different kind of architecture for ANN. And the basic architecture of the ANN is known as feed forward architecture. So the point is how the artificial neural network will look like. In the artificial neural network, we have to arrange the cell bodies into some layers. And how to create those layers, it depends on the programmer. But whatever layer I am showing, this layer is the basic structure. So in this layer, first we will layer the cell bodies, that is the nodes, and then we will have three parts. The first part of this layer is known as input layer. So these are the nodes that exist in the input layer, and these are the nodes that exist in the output layer. And in between whatever we have the hidden layer. So now I will tell you how we will take input. So here each node is responsible for taking inputs. Now your question will be, what will be the input for the network? Practically, whenever you have some data, this data will be arranged in an Excel or CSV file in row or column pattern. So these are the rows and these are the columns. So here try to understand, column represents features. Feature means what are the properties that particular object will have. And in the row we will have the object number. So this is sample number 1, sample number 2, sample number 3, sample number 4. These are the specimen that we have collected, and these are the attributes means color of the specimen, shape of the specimen. So column means the features. And also at the end of this column we will have the type or the class of the feature. Means if S1 is the first sample and the color of S1 is red and thickness is something, some millimeter, then it comes under type 1 category. Then again, if color is something and shape is something, it also comes under type 1 category. Otherwise, for different variations, we will have type 2 category or it may come into type 3. So in the file, we will have the combination of type 1, 2 and 3. So here you have to remember one point. So how many neurons means how many node you should have in the output layer, it depends on how many classes are there. So since we have type 1, 2 and 3 only, so that's why we have only 3 nodes in the output layer, because from this node I will gather information about type 1. From this node I will gather information of type 2, and from this node I will gather information of type 3. So the number of classes in the data set will be equal to the number of nodes in the output layer. Now you may ask me one question, then what is the number of node in the input layer? Who will control that? See, the number of feature will control that. So whatever number of features or columns we have, it will be the number of nodes in the input. So in this case, we have only two features. So in this case, we should have two input nodes in the input layer. Now you may ask me another question. Now who will control the number of nodes and how many layers will be there in the hidden layer? See, this is the problem. Nobody can give you the solution that how many hidden nodes should be there or how many hidden layers should be there. It depends application to application. And also there is no fixed rule. Means while executing the code, you have to see the output. And if you want to improve the output performance, then you have to increase or decrease. Specifically, you have to increase the number of nodes. Sometimes you have to increase the number of layers in the hidden layer. So here my point is, any programmer can guess what is the number of nodes in the input layer, what is the number of nodes in the output layer. However, nobody can guess what should be the number of nodes in the hidden layer or what should be the number of layers. However, there is one more discussion. In the input layer, there should be only one layer. Number of nodes may vary. In the output layer also there will be only one layer. Number of nodes will vary. However, for hidden layer, you may add any number of layers according to your choice. So this is the basic idea that I am talking about neural network.